You stupid black woman, did you really think I'd give you the same tips as my white servers? Kevin Hartwell grabbed Emma Reeves by the wrist and yanked her into his office at Rosie's Pie Diner. The door slammed. She stumbled against his desk where her tips lay scattered. Over $200 she'd watched customers leave all day. Let me educate your simple mind. He counted the money, separated it, most into his pocket, $87 left. You're a 43-year-old black woman with a high school diploma serving pie in a white town. You think you're equal? He grabbed the envelope and shoved it down the front of her uniform. That's where trash belongs. Emma stood frozen, humiliated, powerless. Outside, Owen Turner, CEO disguised as server, stopped chewing mid-bite. Something hard crunched. He pulled laminated paper from his mouth, a time card hidden inside his pie. With Kevin's signature ordering fraud, Owen stared at the evidence, then at Kevin through the window. The manager just ended his own career. Owen's corner office sat 400 miles from Indianapolis, but the quarterly report on his desk pulled him straight there. The numbers didn't lie, even when everything else did. Indianapolis location, 340% turnover increase in 8 months. Top performing store 2 years running, now bleeding staff faster than any franchise in the chain. Customer satisfaction scores down 31%. Food safety complaints up 12%. His phone buzzed. Another HR alert. Third server resignation this month. Emma Reeves, 6-year veteran, employee ID 2848. Termination request submitted. Reason, pursuing other opportunities. Owen pulled her file. 96% positive customer feedback. 0 disciplinary actions in 6 years. 3 Server of the Quarter awards. People didn't leave jobs like that to pursue opportunities. They left because something was very, very wrong. His desk phone rang. Owen checked the caller ID. Kevin Hartwell, Indianapolis store manager. Mr. Turner, I heard Emma Reeves put in notice. Just wanted to assure you we're handling the transition smoothly. Kevin, this is the 3rd resignation this month. Yes, well, the labor market is competitive right now. We're doing our best to... Your turnover rate is 340% above company average. A pause. Too long. Then Kevin's voice, smooth as ever. I think those numbers might reflect some data entry errors. I'll have my assistant manager look into... I'll be reviewing the location personally. Owen kept his voice neutral. Expect me sometime in the next few weeks. Of course, sir. We'd be honored. I'll make sure everything is... Owen hung up. Kevin's eagerness felt wrong. Like someone expecting an inspection had already started hiding things. 20 minutes later, a delivery arrived at Owen's office. Plain cardboard box, no return address, hand-delivered to reception. Inside, 1 slice of Dutch apple pie in a plastic container. A note on a grease-stained napkin, block letters, count the tips, then count again, we're being robbed. Owen read it 3 times, not I'm being robbed, we. He opened his laptop, pulled up the Indianapolis customer complaint log, scrolled back 3 months, 5 complaints about foreign objects in food. Health inspector notes. Occasional contaminants consistent with kitchen environment. No pattern observed. No action required. No pattern observed. Owen looked at the pie slice sitting on his desk. Someone had sent this to corporate headquarters. Someone wanted him to find it, or find something in it. He pulled up Kevin Hartwell's employment file, hired 18 months ago, transferred from the Columbus location, before that the Dayton location, 2 stores in 2 years. Owen clicked deeper, found the transfer notes. Columbus, employee relations concerns. Recommended lateral transfer to avoid potential litigation. Dayton, financial irregularities noted. Manager resigned before investigation completed. His jaw tightened. His company had moved a problem manager twice rather than deal with him, and now that manager was running their best location into the ground. Owen looked at the framed photo on his credenza. His grandmother Rosie standing in front of the original diner in 1962, flower on her apron, smile on her face. She'd built this business on one principle, treat people right, and everything else follows. He'd spent 20 years building Rosie's from 3 locations to 12. But somewhere in the spreadsheets and franchise agreements, he'd lost something. He'd trusted middle management, trusted systems, trusted that good people at the top meant good treatment at the bottom. The anonymous note stared up at him. We're being robbed. Owen picked up his phone, called his HR director, Jennifer. I need you to pull something for me. Quietly, Indianapolis location last 6 months. All server time cards cross-referenced with security footage timestamps. And pull the POS tip distribution data. I want to see every dollar that went through that store. Oh, and that's going to take... I don't care how long it takes. I need it by tonight. And Jennifer, don't tell anyone, especially not local management. He hung up, stared at the pie slice. His grandmother had taught him to bake when he was 7, taught him that pie was about honesty. You couldn't fake a good pie. The crust either held or it didn't. The filling was either real or it wasn't. Someone in Indianapolis was hiding truth inside his grandmother's pies. Owen made a decision. He wouldn't send auditors, wouldn't send HR, wouldn't call the manager and give him time to clean up. He'd go himself, and he'd work the floor. Owen arrived in Indianapolis on a Tuesday morning, dressed like someone who didn't own the place. Baseball cap, plain jacket, walked into Rosie's Pie Diner at 6:45 a.m. The breakfast rush was building. The smell of coffee and baking crust filled the air, exactly like he remembered from childhood. He took a corner booth, back to the wall, perfect view of the counter and kitchen window, ordered coffee from a server who looked exhausted despite the early hour. Her name tag read, Emma. First time here? Emma's smile was practiced, professional, but didn't quite reach her eyes. Yeah, heard you make good pie. Best in the state. The pride in her voice was real. Kitchen makes everything fresh, 6 a.m. every day. Owen watched her move through her section. Efficient, attentive, the kind of server who remembered regular customers' orders without writing them down. A family of 4 at table 8 left a $20 bill on the table. Emma picked it up, smiled her thanks, walked to the counter and dropped it in a ceramic tip jar shaped like a pie. Owen counted 4 other servers doing the same throughout the morning. By 10:30, he'd watched the breakfast rush from beginning to end. The tip jars looked full. He'd seen customers leave generous tips, 10s and 20s visible through the opaque ceramic. Emma alone had probably collected over $100 in the 3 hours he'd observed. Can I get you anything else? Emma appeared at his table, coffee pot in hand. I'll try a slice of your signature pie. Apple, right? Good choice. Blake makes them fresh every morning. She disappeared toward the kitchen. 2 minutes later, she returned with a generous slice of Dutch apple pie, lattice crust perfect, filling still slightly warm. Owen picked up his fork, cut through the crust, took his first bite, and stopped. Something hard crunched between his teeth. Not apple, not crust, something that didn't belong. Owen stopped chewing, reached into his mouth, pulled out a small piece of laminated paper about the size of a business card. He glanced around. Emma had moved to another table. No one was watching him. He unfolded the paper carefully under the table. A photocopy of a time card, Rosie's Diner header. Employee name, Emma Reeves. Week of October 2nd, 8. Clock-in times printed in the standard format showing 46 hours total, but across the bottom, in red ink, someone had written, adjust to 38.5. Below that, a signature, K. Hartwell. And at the very bottom, in different handwriting, block printed in urgent capitals, this is the original before Kevin changed the system. His handwriting, his signature. I'm hiding these in pies. Someone please investigate. Baker. Owen's hand tightened on the laminated card. The plastic was still warm from the pie. Someone had planned this, laminated it thin enough to hide in filling, waterproof enough to survive baking, desperate enough to risk their job by hiding evidence in food going to customers. He looked toward the kitchen window, saw a young guy in a white apron working the prep station, head down, moving fast. Owen pulled out his phone, opened the company HR portal with his CEO credentials, searched Emma Reeves, found her time card for October 2nd, 8. System showed 38.5 hours, but the paper in his hand showed 46 hours, with someone's signature ordering the adjustment, Kevin Hartwell's signature. His coffee tasted like ash. This wasn't just a disgruntled employee complaint. This was documented fraud, and someone in the kitchen was so afraid of reporting it directly, they'd resorted to baking evidence into the food. Owen checked the customer complaint log on his phone. October 12th. Found small piece of plastic in apple pie. October 18th. Foreign object in pumpkin pie. October 28th. Something in the filling looked like laminated paper. The health inspector had dismissed them as occasional accidents. They weren't accidents. They were attempts to get evidence out. Owen signaled Emma. She returned to his table. "Everything okay with the pie?" "Perfect. Can you tell me, who makes the pies here?" "Blake. He's our head baker. Been here about 2 years." "Does he work every day?" "Morning shift, 6 days a week." Emma tilted her head. "You thinking about applying? We're always hiring." Owen felt the laminated time card in his pocket. "Maybe. What's it like working here?" Emma's smile flickered. For just a second, he saw exhaustion behind her eyes. It's fine. Busy. Good tips most days." "Most days, not all days." "Thanks." Owen left a 20 on the table, walked out. In his rental car, he pulled the time card out again, studied Kevin Hartwell's signature, compared it to the signature on Kevin's employment application in the company system. Perfect match. Someone, this baker Blake, had stolen the original time card before Kevin could destroy it, had documented Kevin's order to commit fraud in Kevin's own handwriting, and had been hiding these in pies for weeks, hoping someone would find them and care enough to investigate. Owen looked back at the diner. Through the window, he could see Emma serving another table, could see the tip jars on the counter, could see the kitchen where someone was risking everything to expose the truth. This wasn't just about one stolen time card. This was systematic, and if Blake had hidden this one in a pie, how many others had he tried? Owen called Jennifer. "Pull Kevin Hartwell's handwriting samples from his employment file. I need you to overnight them to me, and find me the best forensic document examiner in Indianapolis. I need handwriting analysis. Fast." Owen spent that evening in his hotel room, laptop open, evidence spreading across the desk. The laminated time card sat in the center like an accusation. Jennifer had sent the data he'd requested. 6 months of Indianapolis time cards, cross-referenced with security footage. The discrepancies jumped out immediately. Servers clocked in at 6 a.m., footage confirmed. Clocked out at 3:30 p.m., footage confirmed. 9.5 hours. But the system showed 8 hours, never the full amount, every single server, every single week. Jennifer called at 9 p.m. "Owen, I've gone through the POS data. Card tips average 20%, but the amounts distributed to servers average 14%. 6% of every card tip is disappearing." "How much?" "Over 14 months, around $52,000. Owen's stomach turned. "That's not a system error." "No, that's theft, systematic theft." He pulled up Kevin Hartwell's previous employment records. Columbus location. Turnover spiked 280% during Kevin's tenure. Server complaints to HR3, all claiming tip theft. All dismissed as unsubstantiated. Kevin transferred. Date and location, same pattern. Turnover spike. Complaints. Quiet transfer. "Jennifer, did we ever investigate the Columbus complaints?" A long pause. According to the notes, local HR advised it would be cheaper to transfer Kevin than to litigate if he sued for wrongful termination. Corporate counsel agreed. So we just moved him to a new store, with new victims. "I'm sorry, Owen." He wasn't angry at Jennifer. She'd inherited this mess same as he had, but someone in corporate, maybe multiple someones, had decided it was easier to shuffle a problem manager around than to actually stop him. His grandmother would have fired Kevin on the spot, would have called the police herself. Owen looked at the laminated time card again. Thought about Blake, the baker, working 6 a.m. shifts, terrified enough to hide evidence in food. Thought about Emma, blaming herself for bad tip days that weren't her fault at all. He made his decision. At 11 p.m., he ordered a server uniform online, rush overnight delivery to the hotel, found a YouTube video on how to carry multiple plates, and practiced in his hotel room until midnight. His back ached, his feet hurt. He'd forgotten how hard this work was. At 6 a.m. Wednesday morning, he called Kevin Hartwell directly, disguising his voice slightly with a stuffed nose. "Mr. Hartwell, this is Tom Wilson from corporate HR. We're sending you a new hire today for training. Owen Warner, transfer from our Columbus location. Can you accommodate?" "Sure, we're short-staffed anyway. What time?" "He'll be there for the breakfast shift, 6:30. Owen hung up. Kevin had no idea. Corporate sent transfers all the time. He looked at himself in the bathroom mirror. Baseball cap, plain polo shirt, name tag he'd printed himself, Owen W. He'd spent 20 years in boardrooms and franchise meetings. 20 years trusting that good policies at the top meant good treatment at the bottom. He'd been wrong. The laminated time card sat on the bathroom counter. Physical evidence, undeniable. But Owen needed to see how deep this went, needed to understand the system Kevin had built, needed to protect Blake and Emma and whoever else was being robbed. Going undercover in your own company was probably illegal, definitely questionable. His lawyers would have heart attacks. But his grandmother hadn't built Rosie's by hiding in an office. Owen grabbed his keys and headed for the door. Kevin Hartwell met Owen Warner in the break room at 6:25 a.m. Firm handshake, welcoming smile, the confidence of someone who thought he was in control. "Warner, right? Transfer from Columbus?" "Yes, sir. Thanks for taking me on short notice." "No problem. We need the help." Kevin walked him through the schedule. "You'll shadow Emma this week. She's our senior server. Learn from her, you'll do fine." Owen kept his head down, took notes on a small pad like an eager new hire. Watched Kevin's office through the break room door. Watched the tip jars on the counter. Watched everything. Emma appeared in the doorway. "Kevin, you wanted to see me?" "Emma, this is Owen. He's going to shadow you this week. Show him the ropes." Emma's smile was tired but genuine. "Sure, come on, Owen. Breakfast rush starts in 5 minutes." The first shift was brutal. Owen's feet screamed in the non-slip shoes. His back ached from carrying trays. Remembering orders, timing, reading customers, it all came back, but it was harder than he remembered. He was 53, not 23. But he watched, he learned. Emma was extraordinary. She remembered regulars' names, knew who wanted coffee refills without asking, moved through her section like a dancer who'd memorized every step. A businessman at table 4 left a $15 tip on a $12 check. Emma smiled her thanks, walked to the counter, dropped it in the ceramic tip jar. Owen served his section, collected his own tips. A family of 5 left $20. He put it in the jar, felt the weight. The jar was getting full. By 2 p.m., 6 servers had been working the floor. Owen had mentally tracked the tips going into the jars. Rough estimate, $800, maybe more. Kevin collected the jars himself, carried all 6 to his office, closed the door. 32 minutes later, he emerged with 6 envelopes. Emma opened hers at the break room table. $88. Owen had watched her section all day. She'd collected at least $180, probably more. "Good shift?" Owen asked, casual. "Not my best." Emma tucked the cash into her purse. "Been having some off weeks lately." "You were great out there. Those customers loved you." She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. "Thanks. You did good for your first day, too." Owen wanted to tell her the truth. Wanted to say, "You're not having off weeks. You're being robbed, but not yet. Not until he had everything." Day 2, Owen arrived early. 5:50 a.m. The parking lot was empty except for one car. Blake's, he guessed. He walked to the back entrance, found it unlocked, slipped inside. The kitchen was warm, smelled like yeast and cinnamon. A young man in a white apron stood at the prep station rolling pie dough. He looked up, startled. "Sorry, didn't mean to scare you. I'm Owen, new server. Just wanted to see who makes these amazing pies." Blake's face went carefully neutral. "That's me. You're not supposed to be back here." "I know, Owen lowered his voice. "I had a slice yesterday. Found something interesting inside." Blake froze, pie dough forgotten. His face went white. "It's okay," Owen said quickly. "I'm not here to hurt you. I'm here to help." "Who are you?" Blake's voice shook. Owen pulled the laminated time card from his pocket. "Someone who found this. And who wants to know how many others you've made?" Blake stared at the time card like it was a ghost. His hands trembled. "You actually found one? Someone actually—" His voice broke. "How many have you hidden?" 11. Blake sank onto a prep stool. 11 weeks. Different employees. I keep thinking someone will find one, someone will investigate, but nothing happens. 3 customers complained about foreign objects, and the health inspector just—" He laughed bitterly. "They just thought I was sloppy." "Why didn't you report Kevin directly?" Blake looked at him like he was insane. "You new to this industry? Kevin threatened to report me to ICE. My sister, she's here on a student visa. One call from him, and they'd investigate our whole family." Owen felt rage building in his chest. "You're doing this to protect Emma?" "Emma, Sarah, Miguel, all of them. They have kids, bills, they can't just quit, and Kevin knows it." Blake pulled a small notebook from his apron pocket. I've been documenting everything, 8 months, every time card he's doctored, every tip distribution that's short, every threat he's made. I just don't know what to do with it. Owen took the notebook, flipped through pages of meticulous notes, dates, dollar amounts, names. Blake, you just handed me the entire case. Who are you? Someone with the power to stop this, but I need you to trust me, and I need you to stop hiding evidence in pies. It's too dangerous now. Blake nodded slowly. Are you really going to help them? I promise. For the next 4 days, Owen worked the floor, watched Kevin's patterns, documented the tip theft in real time. On day 3, he marked a $5 bill with a tiny dot before putting it in the jar. At distribution, that bill was missing. On day 4, he accidentally clocked out early, then watched from his car. Saw Kevin still in his office at 11 p.m., lights on. What was he doing in there for hours after close? On day 5, Kevin caught him examining the tip jars. Looking for something, Warner? Owen's heart hammered. Just wondering how the distribution works. Seems complicated. Kevin's smile didn't reach his eyes. Company policy. Manager handles it to keep everything fair. You got a problem with that? No, sir. Just curious. Kevin stepped closer. Curious is good. Too curious can be a problem, you understand? Owen held his gaze. Understood. That night, Jennifer sent him the forensic analysis results. Kevin's handwriting on the 11 laminated time cards matched his employment file signatures. 99.8% confidence. No possibility of forgery. Owen also had Emma's phone number now. On day 6, she'd mentioned needing a ride home after her car wouldn't start. Owen had offered. During that drive, she'd talked about her daughter Lily, about medical bills, about how she used to make better tips but figured she was losing her touch. You're not losing anything, Owen had wanted to say. But not yet. On day 8, Friday evening, Owen asked Emma for coffee after their shift, off-site, away from the diner. She hesitated, then agreed. They sat in a quiet cafe 2 miles away. Owen's hands shook as he pulled out his CEO identification badge. Emma, I need to tell you something. My name isn't Owen Warner. It's Owen Turner. I own Rosie's Pie Diner. Emma stared at the badge, at him. Her coffee cup clattered onto the saucer. You've been working undercover because someone sent me evidence of theft, and I needed to see it myself. Kevin's been... Emma's voice cracked. I thought it was me. I thought I was doing something wrong. Owen pulled out the documents, the time cards, the POS data, Blake's notebook. Kevin's been stealing from you, from all of you, tips and hours, for over a year. Emma's hands covered her mouth. Tears spilled over. You earned those tips, Emma. You're not failing. He's stealing. Owen slid his phone across the table. I need to ask you something. Do you have any evidence? Anything you've saved? Emma pulled out her own phone. The screen was cracked, spiderwebbed. This broke 3 months ago. Can't afford to fix it, but the camera still works. She opened a video file. Hit play. The footage was grainy, shot from a low angle. Kevin's office, door slightly ajar, Kevin at his desk dumping tips from jars onto the surface, counting, separating into 2 piles. The larger pile went into his pocket. The smaller pile went into envelopes. Kevin's voice, distant but audible. Stupid servers don't even count. $220 tonight, not bad. Owen watched the video 3 times. When did you record this? 6 weeks ago. I worked a double, finished late. Kevin thought everyone was gone. I saw his light on and just... I don't know. I felt like I needed proof I wasn't crazy. Emma, this video, combined with the time cards Blake saved, this is enough. This ends Kevin. Friday night, 11 p.m. Owen spread everything across his hotel desk. Center position, the laminated time card from the pie. Kevin Hartwell's signature in red ink authorizing fraud. Left side, 10 more laminated time cards Blake had given him. All with Kevin's handwriting, all different employees, all showing the same pattern, original hours, Kevin's order to reduce them, his signature. Right side, Blake's notebook. 8 months of documentation, dates, amounts, witness names, the systematic record of someone who understood that truth needed proof. Front, Emma's cracked phone, video queued up, Kevin's own voice convicting himself. Behind it all, printed POS report showing $52,000 in missing tips over 14 months. Owen called the forensic document examiner, Dr. Sarah Williams. She'd completed her analysis that afternoon. Mr. Turner, I've examined all 11 documents against Mr. Hartwell's known signatures. The handwriting matches with 99.8% confidence. These were definitely written by the same person. No evidence of forgery, no evidence of coercion. The pressure patterns, letter formations, and signature dynamics are consistent across all samples. So this will hold up in court? Absolutely. This is as solid as handwriting evidence gets. He signed his own confessions. Owen hung up, stared at the evidence, thought about Blake, terrified enough to bake proof into pies. Thought about Emma working doubles while her daughter asked why Mommy was never home. Thought about Kevin sitting in his office every night, counting money that wasn't his. His phone rang. Jennifer. Owen, I pulled the security footage you requested. Kitchen camera. Last 90 days. And? October 15th, November 2nd, November 18th. All the dates Blake said he hid time cards in pies. The footage shows him laminating documents at the prep station early morning before Kevin arrives. Shows him placing something in the pie filling. Shows him marking specific pies with a small dot on the crust. Owen thought back. The pie he'd eaten. Had there been a mark? He couldn't remember. Send me everything. I'm meeting with legal and law enforcement Monday morning. He texted Detective Morrison, the financial crimes contact Jennifer had arranged. Evidence is ready. Need meeting Monday 8 a.m., bringing all documentation. Morrison replied within minutes. I'll be there. If what you've described is accurate, this is federal FLSA violation, multiple counts. Owen picked up the original time card from the pie, held it up to the light. The lamination was so thin you could barely feel it. Blake had tested this, had practiced, had put thought and planning into getting this evidence out of the building before Kevin could destroy it. 11 attempts, 8 intercepted by someone, probably Kevin's girlfriend who worked morning prep based on Blake's notes. 3 made it to customers. 1 made it to Owen, 1 bite of pie. That's all it had taken. 1 bite, and years of systematic theft started unraveling. Owen made a list for Monday's confrontation. Primary evidence: 11 time cards with Kevin's signature, irrefutable, forensically verified. Supporting evidence: Emma's video shows method. Supporting evidence: POS data shows scope. Supporting evidence: Blake's documentation shows pattern. Supporting evidence: security footage corroborates Blake's testimony. Without the time card from the pie, the case would have been harder. Video could be disputed, data could be claimed as system errors, testimony could be dismissed, but Kevin's own signature on paper ordering fraud, forensically proven to be his handwriting, documented across 11 separate weeks with 11 different employees, that was irrefutable. Owen called Jennifer one more time. Monday morning, 8 a.m., I need you to arrange a meeting at the Indianapolis location. Conference room. Attendees: me, Kevin Hartwell, our corporate attorney, you, Detective Morrison, the forensic document examiner, Emma Reeves as witness, Blake Anderson as protected witness. Owen, if you're confronting him with all this evidence, Kevin Hartwell has been stealing from our employees for over a year. The company transferred him twice instead of prosecuting him. We're complicit, Jennifer. That ends Monday. He hung up. Looked at the evidence one more time. Kevin had been so confident, had documented his own crimes in his own handwriting, had thought himself untouchable. He'd underestimated the baker, had underestimated the server with the broken phone, had underestimated the power of people who were tired of being robbed. Monday morning, Kevin would understand exactly how wrong he'd been. Monday morning, 8 a.m. The Indianapolis conference room felt smaller than it should. Owen arrived first, set up his evidence at the head of the table. 11 laminated time cards in clear evidence bags arranged in chronological order. Emma's phone, video ready to play, printed POS reports, Blake's notebook. Dr. Williams arrived next, carrying her forensic analysis report. Detective Morrison followed, badge clipped to his belt. Jennifer came with Richard, the corporate attorney. Emma slipped in quietly, Blake behind her. Both looked terrified. Kevin Hartwell was the last to arrive, 8:03 a.m., coffee in hand, easy smile on his face. Morning, everyone! What's this about? He saw Owen Warner sitting at the table, saw the real Owen CEO badge on display. His smile faltered. Wait, what? Sit down, Kevin. Owen's voice was flat. Kevin's eyes darted between Owen and the evidence on the table. I don't understand. Warner, My name isn't Owen Warner, it's Owen Turner. I own this company. I've been working in your store for the past week. Kevin's face went white, then red. That's entrapment. You can't. Entrapment requires inducement to commit a crime. You were already committing the crimes. I just watched. Owen gestured to an empty chair. Sit. Down. Kevin sat. His hands gripped the armrests. Owen reached for the center evidence bag, held it up. Inside, the laminated time card from the pie. October 15th, I came to your diner for breakfast. I ordered a slice of apple pie, took one bite, and I bit into this. He slid the evidence bag across the table to Kevin. Do you know what this is? Kevin leaned forward, looked at the time card through the plastic. His face drained of all color. That's the October 2nd, 8 time card for Emma Reeves, the original, before you changed it in the system. Owen pointed to the handwriting. That's your handwriting, isn't it? Adjust to 38.5. That's your signature. K. Hartwell, October 9th. Anyone could have written... Owen gestured to Dr. Williams. This is Dr. Sarah Williams, Forensic Document Examiner. Doctor, please share your findings. Dr. Williams opened her report. I analyzed this document along with 10 others with similar handwriting. I compared them to known samples of Mr. Hartwell's signature from his employment file. The handwriting and signatures on all 11 documents match with 99.8% confidence. Mr. Hartwell wrote these. Owen placed 10 more evidence bags on the table, all with laminated time cards. Blake, your baker, has been making copies of the original time cards every week before you could change them. 11 weeks, 11 employees, 11 signed orders from you to commit wage fraud. He spread them out so Kevin could see all 11. Every single one has your handwriting, your signature, your date stamp. Kevin tried different approach. I was told by corporate to reduce hours for budget. Owen. Then where's the corporate directive? Show me the email. Show me the policy. You can't, because it doesn't exist. Kevin, desperate. The system must have malfunctioned. Owen. Then why is your handwritten signature on paper ordering the adjustments? The system didn't write these, Kevin. You did. Detective Morrison. Mr. Hartwell, I've reviewed these documents. Each one is evidence of a separate count of wage theft under federal FLSA statutes. That's 11 felony counts. Owen continued. Now, you might be wondering about the other evidence. Let me show you. He played Emma's video of Kevin pocketing tips. This video shows you stealing tips, but you could claim it's edited, out of context, not clear. He showed POS data printouts. This data shows $52,000 missing from tip distributions, but you could claim it's a system error, a glitch. He showed Blake's notebook. This notebook documents 8 months of your theft, but you could claim it's fabricated, hearsay. Owen picked up the original laminated time card from the pie. But this, your handwriting, your signature, on the original document, 11 times. You can't claim it's fake. You can't claim it's a glitch. Forensic analysis proves you wrote these. He looked directly at Kevin. The video shows what you did. The data shows how much you stole. The testimony shows who you hurt. But this holds up time card. This proves you did it, deliberately, in your own hand, 11 times. Long silence. Kevin stared at the time card, his face collapsed. He knew. Kevin, quietly. How did you get these? I destroyed all the paper copies. Blake speaks for first time. No, Kevin, you destroyed the copies I gave you. You never knew I was making 2 sets. One for you to destroy, one I laminated and baked into pies before you could find them. Kevin looked at Blake, disbelief. Blake continued. You told me once, Blake, nobody ever looks at the baker. You're invisible. You were right. I was invisible. And that's how I got 11 signed confessions out of the building inside pies. Owen, to Kevin. One of those pies was served to me. I took one bite, and what I found inside, what you wrote and signed, that's what's ending your career today. Detective Morrison stood. Kevin Hartwell, you're under arrest for 11 counts of wage theft under the Fair Labor Standards Act and 11 counts of fraud. Each count carries up to 5 years federal prison. Handcuffs clicked. As Kevin was let out, Owen held up the time card. Kevin, you want to know the irony? If you hadn't signed your name, you might have gotten away with it. But you were so arrogant, so certain nobody would catch you, that you documented your own crimes, in ink, 11 times. Kevin said nothing. He was defeated. Emma watched him leave, then turned to Owen. The time card in the pie that saved all of us? Owen, one bite. That's all it took. Monday afternoon. Kevin was in federal custody. But Owen's work wasn't finished. Justice without restoration was just revenge. He called an all-staff meeting for 6 p.m. after dinner rush. 23 employees crammed into the break room. Servers, kitchen staff, dishwashers, everyone looked nervous. Meetings like this usually meant bad news. Owen stood at the front. No podium, no corporate presentation, just him. My name is Owen Turner. I'm the CEO of Rosie's Pie Diner. Some of you worked beside me last week and didn't know who I was. I went undercover because people like Emma and Blake tried to tell us something was wrong and the company didn't listen. That's on me. That's on corporate. I'm here to make it right. Murmurs rippled through the room. Kevin Hartwell was arrested this morning for wage theft. He stole your tips. He stole your hours. He stole from you for over a year, and my company let it happen because we transferred him instead of prosecuting him. That was wrong. I'm sorry. Emma's eyes filled with tears. Other servers were crying too. Here's what happens next. Every one of you will receive full restitution for your stolen tips and hours, plus triple damages as federal law allows. Corporate is covering every penny. You'll have checks by Friday. He nodded to Jennifer, who distributed envelopes. Each person opened theirs. Emma's hands shook as she read the amount. $19,500. This doesn't erase what happened, Owen continued. But it's a start, and it's not just about money. We're changing how this company operates. He pulled up slides on the break room TV. Effective immediately, 5 changes. First, all ceramic tip jars are being replaced with clear glass. No hidden compartments, no opacity. You can see what's inside at all times. Nods around the room. Second, the old manual time clocks are being replaced with biometric scanners. Your hours will be logged automatically. No one can edit them without corporate approval and a full audit trail. You'll be able to check your hours anytime via an app. Third, tips will be counted by a manager with a staff witness present. The count will be filmed on security cameras. Distribution amounts will be posted in the break room within 30 minutes of counting. You'll always know exactly what you earned. More nods. People were leaning forward now. Fourth, all card tips will be auto-distributed through the POS system directly to you. Managers cannot access or redistribute them. You'll receive a weekly itemized report of all your card tips. Fifth, we're establishing an anonymous reporting hotline. Direct line to corporate ethics office managed by a third-party vendor. Calls are confidential. Every report gets investigated within 48 hours, and retaliation against whistleblowers is now grounds for immediate termination. Owen paused. Let that sink in. These changes roll out here first. If they work, they become company standard across all 12 locations. You're the test case. You're the reason we're fixing this. A server raised her hand. What about a new manager? We're promoting from within, but first I want you to elect a server representative, someone who has a voice at the management table, someone who represents your interests directly. The room went quiet. Then Emma spoke. I nominate Blake. Others agreed. Blake looked shocked. I'm just a baker. You documented systematic theft while being threatened, Owen said. You protected your coworkers. That's leadership. Blake was voted in unanimously. There's one more position to fill, Owen continued. Assistant manager. This person reports to the new store manager, advocates for staff, and ensures policy compliance. The salary is $18.50 per hour plus full benefits. He looked at Emma. Emma, I'd like to offer you this position. Emma's mouth fell open. I'm not management material. I'm just a server. You're not just anything. You recorded evidence that helped build this case. You worked doubles while your daughter asked why you were never home. You survived someone systematically stealing from you and making you think it was your fault. That's strength. That's exactly what we need. Emma looked around the room. Everyone was nodding, encouraging her. She swallowed hard. Okay, yes, I'll try. Owen handed her a badge. Assistant Manager Emma Reeves. Applause filled the room. Real applause. People standing. Owen held up a hand. One more thing. We owe Blake an apology. He tried to get evidence out for weeks. Health inspectors dismissed his attempts. Customers complained about foreign objects and nothing happened. Blake, you baked 11 time cards into pies. You risked your job, your family's immigration case, everything to help your coworkers. That's heroism. Blake looked down, uncomfortable with the attention. We're promoting you to head baker and shift supervisor. $45,000 salary, full benefits. And we're establishing a safe reporting protocol in your name. Bakers can now include sealed notes in delivery boxes sent direct to corporate. It's a new reporting channel, inspired by what you did. Blake's eyes widened. Thank you. The meeting broke up with people talking, crying, hugging each other. Owen watched Emma and Blake surrounded by co-workers thanking them. Jennifer approached. Think it'll stick, the changes? It has to. Owen looked at his grandmother's photo on his phone. She built this company on trust. I lost sight of that, but Emma and Blake reminded me. Over the next 90 days, Owen monitored Indianapolis closely. The new systems worked. Turnover dropped from 340% to 12%. Server retention hit 94%. Tips increased 46% as customer confidence returned. Glassdoor rating jumped from 2.1 to 4.6 stars. Applications flooded in. 49 people applied for 3 open positions. Owen visited every month, worked a shift each time. Never forgot what it felt like to be on the floor. Never forgot the time card hidden in the pie. Kevin Hartwell pled guilty. Couldn't fight forensic evidence. 4 years federal prison, $128,000 restitution, permanent ban from food service management. His girlfriend, Ashley, who'd been intercepting Blake's evidence pies, pled guilty to obstruction, 2 years probation, $15,000 restitution, community service. Justice wasn't just about punishment. It was about making sure it never happened again. 2 weeks after the confrontation, Emma sat in her apartment counting the restitution check one more time. $19,500. Enough to pay 3 months of back rent. Enough to refill Lily's asthma prescription without choosing between that and groceries. Enough to breathe. Her daughter Lily appeared in the doorway, backpack on. Mommy, are you crying? Emma wiped her eyes. Happy tears, baby. You've been doing that a lot. Lily sat beside her. You're different now. Different how? You smile more, and you're home for dinner. Lily hugged her tight. I like when you're home. Emma held her daughter close. 3 months ago, she'd been working doubles, coming home at 2 a.m. from DoorDash deliveries, falling asleep in her car before driving because she was too exhausted to be safe. She'd thought she was failing, thought the problem was her. Now she knew the truth. The problem had never been her. Blake used his restitution, $14,200, to re-enroll at community college, business administration. His younger sister's immigration case had been approved, partly thanks to a support letter from Rosie's corporate office confirming his employment and character. He still baked pies every morning, but now he did it with pride instead of fear. One afternoon, Owen visited the kitchen. Blake was rolling dough for apple pies, the same pies that had carried truth out of the building. Can I ask you something? Owen leaned against the prep counter. Why did you laminate them, the time cards? Blake didn't look up from his work. Pie filling is wet, regular paper dissolves. I needed them to survive the baking. I practiced at home first. Took me 11 tries to get the lamination thin enough to hide in the filling, but thick enough to stay intact. Where'd you learn to do that? YouTube? Blake smiled slightly. There's a tutorial for everything. I just searched how to waterproof documents and adapted it. Owen shook his head in wonder. You're brilliant, you know that? I was just trying to help Emma. She has Lily. I didn't want her to lose her apartment because someone was stealing from her. You risked everything. Your job, your sister's case. Blake finally looked up. My parents taught me. If you see something wrong and do nothing, you're part of the wrong. I couldn't just watch. Owen extended his hand. Thank you for having the courage to act. Blake shook it. His grip was strong. Baker's hands. Underscore, 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 underscore. 6 weeks after the arrest, Owen organized a staff dinner. Voluntary, not required. Just community rebuilding. He brought homemade pie, his grandmother's recipe, the one she'd taught him when he was 8. 20 employees showed up. The Indianapolis diner stayed open, but they filled a back room with tables pushed together, potluck style. Emma brought her signature mac and cheese. Blake brought bread he'd baked himself. Servers brought desserts, salads, stories. Owen sat at the end of the table, watching people laugh. Real laughter, not the forced kind that happens when the boss is watching. This was family. Can I say something? Emma stood, glass of water raised. I'm not good at speeches, but 6 months ago I thought I was failing. Thought I wasn't good enough. Kevin made me believe that. The room went quiet. But we weren't failing. We were being stolen from. And the only reason we know that now is because 3 people had courage. Blake documented everything, even though he was terrified. Owen came down from corporate and actually looked, and all of us, she gestured around the room, we survived. We're still here. She looked at Owen. This toast is for you, but also for us. We know our worth now. Everyone raised their glasses. Owen's throat tightened. He stood. Emma, I didn't save anyone. You saved yourselves. Blake with his evidence, you with your video, all of you by refusing to quit even when things were impossible. I just did what I should have done years ago. I listened. After dinner, Owen sat with Emma and Blake in the emptying room. How's Lily? He asked Emma. Good. Great, actually. She said, I'm not sad anymore. Kids notice everything. You've earned happiness, Emma smiled. So have you. You could have sent auditors, could have handled this from your office, but you didn't. You worked beside us. That meant something. My grandmother would have done the same thing. She'd be proud of you. Owen looked at the laminated time card he still carried in his wallet, the original from the pie, his talisman, his reminder. I keep this to remember. Evidence isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet, hidden in a pie, waiting for someone to take one bite and pay attention. 6 months after Kevin Hartwell's arrest, Rosie's Pie Diner in Indianapolis was thriving. Parking lot full, servers smiling, kitchen running smoothly. Emma Reeves had been promoted to general manager after 3 months as assistant manager. Salary, $58,000 plus benefits. Her daughter Lily was on the honor roll. Her apartment was paid up 6 months in advance. She slept through the night now. Blake Anderson led the kitchen as head baker and shift supervisor. His sister had graduated with honors, legal status secure. He was 2 semesters from his business degree. He still made pies every morning, but now with joy instead of fear. Kevin Hartwell served 4 years in federal prison. His ban from food service management was permanent. He pled guilty because forensic evidence of his own signature left no defense. Owen Turner kept the original laminated time card from the pie framed in his office. Visitors asked about it constantly. That's the time card I bit into, he'd explain. October 2nd, 8. Emma Reeves, 46 hours reduced to 38.5 by manager's signature. 1 piece of paper, 1 signature. That's all it took to expose systematic fraud. The 5 systemic changes rolled out to all 12 Rosie's locations. Clear tip jars, biometric time clocks, witness tip counts, auto-distributed card tips, anonymous reporting hotline, turnover across the company dropped to 8%. Industry average was 75%. Applications increased 400%. People wanted to work where they'd be treated fairly. Local news ran a feature. CEO's one-bite discovery leads to federal conviction. Baker's hidden evidence saves co-workers. But the real story was quieter. It was Emma teaching new hires about transparency systems, Blake training incoming bakers on documentation protocols, servers who felt safe enough to report concerns because they knew someone would listen. Tip theft happens more than you think. An estimated $5.8 billion is stolen from American workers annually. It's a federal crime. If you've worked for tips and felt something was wrong, document everything. Photos, dates, amounts. Physical evidence matters. Screenshots matter. Your voice matters. If this story resonated with you, drop a below. Share it with anyone in service work. Knowledge is power. Sometimes justice isn't loud. Sometimes it's just a broken phone, a laminated time card, and one person who cared enough to look. Be that person.